All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Open Data Framework Technical Assistance webinar for fiscal year 2024. This webinar is being pre-recorded prior to the official release of the RFA, but we do plan to post this recording along with scheduling a question and answer period later on after the RFA gets released. This is a obligatory non-discrimination statement slide for the USDA. If anyone has problems with these slides or any of the information that we're providing today, feel free to contact USDA Office of Ethics or any one of the program staff on the presentation today. First off, we will start with introductions from our team. So hello, my name is Angelica Van Gore. I'm a National Program Leader in the Institute of Food Production and Sustainability at NIFA, and I am the primary lead on the Open Data Framework program for this year. Catherine?
My name is Catherine Bonnert, and I am a program specialist in the Institute of Food Production and Sustainability in the Plant Production Division, and I'm the program specialist that's working on this program. Mac?
Hello, my name is Basunat Mukun. I go by Mac, as you would have gathered. I am a National Program Leader in the Division of Plant Systems Production in the Institute of Food Production and Sustainability. And I've been with NIFA for 2.5 years now, and I am one of the co-lead NPLs on this program. Rachel?
Sorry about that, muted. My name is Rachel Seaman-Barner. I'm also a National Program Leader. I'm in the Division of Agricultural Systems, also in the Institute of Food Production and Sustainability, and I'm a co-lead. Aisha?
Hello, everyone. My name is Aisha Magruder. I'm also a program specialist with IFPS. Thank you.
Thank you. So the topics we'll cover today in the technical assistance webinar are to give a brief NIFA overview, a program overview for the Open Data Framework program, a request for application or RFA details, talk about the proposal evaluation process, and provide additional information and resources. And as I mentioned before, we will have a live Q&A session scheduled later on. Mac.
So I am required to do the NIFA overview. NIFA, National Institute of Food and Agriculture, is the extramural science funding agency within USDA's Research, Education, and Economics mission area. In fact, we are the largest agency that funds agricultural and food science research in the federal government. NIFA invests in and supports initiatives that ensures the long-term viability of agriculture, and NIFA provides funding and strategic leadership for programs that ensure groundbreaking discoveries in agricultural-related sciences, technologies, and technologies reach people who can put them into practice. Next slide, please. As you can see on this slide, NIFA covers a lot of topics. Our programs cover a lot of topics, and they range from advanced technologies. I'm not going to read everything that's on there, all the way on to plants and various aspects of each one of those topics. Next slide, please. And here we hand it over back to Angelica.
Thank you, Mac. So I will cover the program overview for ODF. The purpose and priorities of this program. So there are 3 slides that cover these. So the open data framework will build a framework needed to create neural and secure data repository and a cooperative where producers, universities, and nonprofit entities can store and share data in ways that will foster ag innovation and support technological progress, production efficiencies, and environmental stewardship. So the ODF must have a clear and complete sustainability plan for updates, expansion, user support beyond the award period, and delineate principles and examples of specific mechanisms for appropriate integration with current and future tool development, infrastructures, and provide detailed information on how data transfer speed and any co-location needs will be addressed. So the ODF project must have a feasible and complete plan for serving all types of participants with appropriate assurances and regulatory and legal compliance. For example, data trust structures may be needed. Standards for metadata should be addressed and appropriate for structure and governance and curation of the standards explained. The project must have clear and complete plans that will ensure diverse participation and responsible use of the framework. And the project plan must support stakeholders in developing inclusive collaborative partnerships that foster innovation. So the plans need to include all types of agricultural research institutions, growers, and representative of all relevant data producers and consumer organizations as appropriate, with attention to costs and benefits for the sectors and a special attention to barriers and values for farmers. So we request in the RFA that 1862, 1890, and 1994 land grant institutions, as well as ARS and non-land grant institutions, are involved or considered within the project plan. And public-private partnerships are encouraged for this program. The proposal will provide details on project plans to ensure that the benefits and incentives of the ODF are fully developed during the project, along with plans for development of security, privacy, accessibility, and governance information. And the project should address FAIR principles or findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable data principles. The project is expected to focus on the framework's development from use cases throughout growth and expansion, and the project management structure should be clearly delineated. Proposals must explain in detail how stakeholder feedback will be integrated into the project and how stakeholder feedback impacts the project will be documented and shared beyond just the proposal. So for eligibility to apply for this program, there are no restrictions. Applicants, although, must be based in the US. The project and grant types for ODF this year include research, project types, and standard grant types. As far as cost sharing or matching, there is no match requirement for ODF, and matching resources will not be factored into the review process as an evaluation criteria. And now I will hand it over to Aisha.
Hello, I will be covering the application details and documents. The RFA is available online at this link under NIFA, under the Open Data Framework. Currently, the publication of the RFA is forthcoming, so please check in the webpage for updates. The application deadline will be 5 p.m. Eastern Time in 2024, but that date is also forthcoming. And as always, it will be submitted through grants.gov. Total funding available in FY2024 is $930,000. You will use the program code ODF, and the maximum funding per year is $930,000. Here are some things that should be included within your application, some key documents. which are the project summary or the abstract, project narrative, bibliography, and resources references cited, data management plan, mentoring plan, facilities, and other resources, biographical sketch, conflict of interest list, current and pending support, budget and budget justification. And other documents can be found in the RFA and the NIFA grants application guide. This is not an exhaustive list of items. It only serves to highlight items that may be overlooked. Failure to include any of the 4 critical required documents of the project summary abstract, project narrative, bibliography, and references cited in the data management plan sections as PDF attachments will result in the application not being reviewed or considered for funding by NIFA. The project narrative is limited to 15 pages and will be strictly enforced. It must not exceed 1.5 space pages of written text, including figures and tables. The font size for tables should be no smaller than 11 points times New Roman. And applications exceeding the page limitation will be returned without review. And back to you, Angelica.
Thank you, Aisha. So I will cover the data management plan and the mentoring plan. So a data management plan is required as part of your submission, or your application will not be reviewed in panel. So a DMP is required for all competitive grant programs at NIFA, and it is limited to 2 pages. So within the data management plan, applicants should clearly articulate how the project director and co-project directors plan to manage and disseminate the data generated by the project. The DMP will be considered during the merit review process, and you can see the Open Data Framework RFA for more details. Please also review resources found at this link for additional information regarding the data management plans, which covers things such as open access or exemptions that should be included if needed in the data management plan. So new this year to the Open Data Framework program is something called a mentoring plan, which is recommended. That means it's not a requirement, but it's recommended to be submitted with your proposal. So, if your proposal requests stipend or wages to support undergraduate, graduate students, or postdoctoral scholars, then we recommend it's included in your proposal. So a mentoring plan for undergraduate students should be separate and distinct from mentoring plans for graduate students that are involved in the project. And mentoring plans should not only speak to research mentoring for the students, but how they will be mentored to achieve the next level in their academic or professional careers. The mentoring plan should be provided as a supplementary document as applicable and be a maximum of 1 page total for all types and stages of the students that are being mentored in the project. So application submission, NIFA only accepts applications that are submitted electronically, and the application guide is available at this link. So application documents must be in PDF format to be accepted by NIFA, including the narrative and budget justification. So grants.gov may allow other formats, but NIFA does not, and don't use third-party PDF builders. So if, for example, a Word document is submitted as part of your grant application package to NIFA, it will be non-readable when it gets sent out to the panelists for peer review. And now I'll hand it over to Rachel.
Angelica. So I will be discussing the proposal evaluation process. The process is basically 4 steps, and proposals are gathered and reviewed by at least 3 expert reviewers. Those reviewers will produce individual written reviews for each proposal that evaluate the strengths and weaknesses. And those written reviews will then be used to generate an individual score. Through those written reviews and the scores, a final rating and ranking of the proposals will be generated. The reviewers will use evaluation criteria in these three categories, the first being scientific merit of the application. So that's, how innovative the project is, the technical and methodological approaches. Reviewers will also evaluate the qualifications of the project personnel, the adequacy of the facilities, and the project management. And lastly, they will review and evaluate the project relevance to the RFA. On average, a competitive program takes about 3 to 5 months from the proposal due date to the award actually being made to the institution. And it's broken down into these stages. The first part of the timeline is 1 to 2 months after the release of the RFA, when the proposals are written and submitted, and the proposals then are due. After the proposal open application period closes, it takes about 2 to 3 months for the proposal to be reviewed, and then for the funding to be evaluated and notifications made. And then the awards are finalized and made to the institutions within about 1 to 2 months after. We do keep you as updated as possible along each phase of the process, and we do appreciate your patience as we move through. And I will now pass it to Mac for some additional information and resources.
Thank you very much. NIFA web pages has a ton of information that will help you in preparing your applications and in submitting your applications. Let's go to the next slide, please. Many, if not all of you, are accustomed to looking in the CRIS network for NIFA's funded awards. But pretty soon, CRIS is no longer going to be functional. I think the date set is October 1st for it to come off stream. And we have started using, you can already use NIFA's reporting portal to find funded awards if you want to have an idea of what awards are funded. The link given on this slide will take you directly to all the awards that were funded in 2020. But if you want to search yourself, you can go to the NIFA reporting portal, click on advanced search in the tab. And if you want a particular fiscal year, then you can click on an add button and then indicate the year of the initial award that you want to, and if there's a particular year you want to find. Next slide, please. You can also find on NIFA's main page, if you go to NIFA's main page and click on grants, you will see events calendars for meetings and webinars. You will also see a list of upcoming requests for applications. There's a calendar there. You also can find open RFAs on that page. Next slide, please. And here's a bunch of grant resources. You will have a recording of this webinar, and so you'll be able to read all those links and get there for any information you may need. Next slide, please. And this slide has information for all of us. Since this is a recording, there are no live questions, but you can contact any or all of us to have questions answered either through email or by phone. Thank you very much, and thank you for attending this webinar.
Thank you very much. That concludes our Open Data Framework Technical Assistance webinar period. We look forward to the open question and answer period. Thank you.